Hi, my name is Jeremy, and I am going to tell you about a couple of articles I just read referring to the oldest winemaking facility that archaeologists have ever discovered. It was the excavation was led by a UCLA team. It was in a cave known as Arany 1 in Armenia, as you can see here. According to Science Daily, this is so far the oldest relatively complete wine production facility with its press, fermentation vats, and storage jars in situ, said Hans Bernard, the article's lead author and a UCLA Kotzen Institute archaeologist. They found grape seeds, withered grapevines, remains of pressed grapes, a rudimentary wine press, a clay vat, which they used for fermentation, and they found a cup and a drinking bowl. According to Bernard, Dooley, Oreshian, Gasparian, and Fall, on page 3, the installation and associated artifacts were unearthed by controlled stratigraphic excavation from the well-preserved second Chalcolithic level in the central gallery of the cave complex, which has been dated to 4223E 3790 Cal BCE by radiocarbon analysis of 3 samples. And they were OXA 18197, UCIAMS 40182, and UCIMS 48413. Basically, this is saying that they have dated the winemaking, artifacts to 4100 BC, which is nearly 6100 years ago. This was also roughly the Copper Age. There is no evidence found to prove that they actually smashed the grapes, like how they did it, but I mean, people have done this. They used to do it in California with their feet, and this is what they believe that these people did to smash the grapes. Paleobotanists from 3 institutions claim that the type of grape found was Vitis vinifera vinifera, and that is something that we still use today. They found the pigment malvidin, which can only be found in pomegranate and grapes, and there was no pomegranate found in the area, which leads us to believe that it was grapes. And another thing, there was no way to preserve juice in this time without fermenting it, so there's another clue. They believe that the people who did this were actually the predecessors of the Kora Araxes people. Some things that I would have done a little differently: I would have stepped the detail up a notch, more like Pitt Rivers. I would have organized a huge team, just logging data. I feel that there's a lack of information on this excavation. They did a very good job running tests, but I feel that they could have gathered a lot more data during that excavation. I would have taken more of a processual plus approach myself, but I would have hired experts from like the maybe a processual expert, a historical materialist expert, a cognitive processual expert, and I would have thrown it all out there, and let's see what we got. Let's put it all in one basket, and let's dig for as much information as we can find. So, yeah, I know it would be very expensive to do something like that, but that's the way it's got to be done, in my opinion. I think just get as much as you possibly can, because once you excavate, I mean, it's done. There's no going back. If you're going to excavate, do it right. So, another thing that amazes me is that these people used to drink wine. I mean, back 6,100 years ago. I mean, I wonder these things. What did they do for fun? You know, and sometimes I'll have some wine with my buddies and my fiance, and we'll have a great time. That's all we need is conversation and wine. And to think that they had the ability to do this 6,100 years ago, it leads me to believe it wasn't as boring as I used to think it was. You know, I mean, they probably had some great times. I mean, even for the, I mean, I'm sure of it. I mean, just something like this, just, you know, wine can produce a good time, in my opinion. So, and it also just boggles my mind how they came up with this technology 4,100 years ago. I mean, it's just amazing. Anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed.